Every year, thousands of people are faced with the devastating diagnosis of life-threatening blood cancers, but there is hope. Be the Match, a non-profit bone marrow donor program that matches patients with donors, is dedicating to assisting those in their fights. Brooke Krohley, a track and field coach at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, is very familiar with Be the Match.
They find matches for candidates that need a bone marrow transplant, and they do it all across the country. All across the world, I should say. I first heard about Be the Match when I was 20 years old. My aunt, she got diagnosed with lymphoma and she had to have a bone marrow transplant, I think when I was in high school, or about 3 years prior, and she got her match through Be the Match.
Brooke signed up in 2016 while she was still in college to donate her own bone marrow.
They do is swab your mouth and then you kind of sit in the system. I sat in the system for 7 years. You don't really expect to call. So during those 7 years, I will admit, I kind of forgot that I did it, but I know that I did it. I knew I signed up for it, so as soon as I got the call, it was an immediate yes for me. I didn't really have to think about it. So the process was actually pretty seamless. They call you saying your potential match, and then you go through all these tests. They take like 20 vials of blood from you to see, if you're a match. And then once you get all that done, then you do have to take a bunch more tests to make sure that you're healthy enough to be a match. And then there's usually about actually 1 or 2 other people at that stage still. And then, because if one person isn't healthy enough, then they'll look to the next person and the person after that. But once you get chosen as the match, it's pretty seamless. They put your non-dominant arm and then your arm's just laying there straight for me, it was actually only about 3.5 hours. So I got done quickly, an above average time, which was really great. And then they give you then they do another IV and they put it in just another vein. So they're giving back your other blood because they're sifting your blood for the blood stem cells. So it goes through a whole machine and it sifts it, and then your regular blood just goes right back into you.
Brooke donated in August of 2023, surprising those around her who were not even aware she had signed up.
I was unaware of her donating until she posted on her Instagram, but then I read the story, so.
Not until she told me that she'd been, was a match for somebody and that she'd agreed to do it, so she needed to take a little time away from the office for that because she had to go to Florida for it.
I think that it just shows how strong of a person she is. I mean, we've talked a lot about just one-on-one about injuries we faced in the past, and we have a lot of common ground there, but I definitely think that watching her go through this process of donating her stem cells is just such a courageous characteristic, and I now value her a lot more.
I think it's an awesome thing that she, was in the donor registry and that she was willing to do it. I'm thrilled for her that she got to do it, just to be able to help another human being like that. It's just an amazing thing, right?
You're giving someone a second chance that they might not have had if I don't donate. So I want to give that person a second chance.
When asked if she would donate again, Brooke didn't hesitate.
Yes, 100%. They already asked me and I said yes, 100% I'd do it again. I think it's a great thing to do. I would say just be brave, because if you think about it, just think about your family members, your mom, your dad, siblings, aunts, uncles, and if you don't help that person, might not make it. I know it sounds very sounds dramatic, but it is just the reality of the situation.
Brooke now remains in the donor pool and hopes to eventually one day meet the patient she helped by donating. From Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Jasmine Lauwers with Sacred Heart Sports Media.